Welcome to the dansports.tips MLB Daily Fantasy Preview Show for today, the 31st of August. I will be taking a look at everything you need for your daily fantasy game today. I'll be looking at starting pitchers, stacks of the day, how we can construct a lineup to maximise point scoring potential, foundation players that should be used as a foundation to build a winning lineup on, and a value player at each position. For anyone that hasn't had the opportunity to sign up and play daily fantasy sports with DraftKings yet, I'll pop a link in the description to this video that will enable you to do that today. My starting pitchers today, I'm going to take Kluber, top of the shop from Cleveland for 11,300. Kluber has averaged over one strikeout per inning this year. He's got 178 and 175 2/3. Gets a top 6 strikeout unit in the Twins today. Winds are forecast to be blowing in fairly strongly in Cleveland. Kluber is finishing the season strong as he usually does, with a 5-0 record and a 2.12 ERA in his last 7 starts. He's given you 6 innings and 7 or more strikeouts in 8 of his last 9 starts, allowing 1 or 0 runs in 6 of those occasions. Another good start looks likely today. David Phelps of the Miami Marlins for 8,500 has gone 2-1 with a 2.22 ERA as a starter this month, with 32 strikeouts across 24 and 2/3 innings. He has 101 strikeouts in 78 2/3 innings for the season, including his relief work. He gets a substandard offense in the Mets, who do rank above average for the strikeout today. His last start was in fact his worst of the year since he came in as a starter for San Diego, allowing 3 earned runs and failing to make it out of the 4th. But it's a worthwhile gamble today that he will bounce back, and it's a decent price at 8,500. And Luke Weaver of the St. Louis Cardinals for 4,500. Okay, it is a small sample size of 3 starts, but Weaver has increased his innings and his strikeouts outing by outing, going 6 innings with 7 strikeouts and 1 earned run on his last trip to the hill against Oakland. A pitcher early in their career is always going to be a risk, as we know there are bumps in the road on the learning curve that is the Major League level, but this is a decent matchup against the Major League Baseball strikeout leaders for a pitcher who has been racking them up at 1 per inning and was above that rate in 2 minor league stops and a sub-2 ERA this year. If you are going after hitters today, then Weaver is a decent upside play at a low cost for you. Stacks of the day, Coors Field today is obviously going to be the site of a double-header. Game 1 is the one that's on the slate due to the postponed game yesterday. Everything I said about Tyler Anderson yesterday stands. I don't really want to take a picture on who's navigated Coors as well as he has. Against Ross Stripling, though, I will use some Rockies. Stripling is a righty for a start, which is better for Colorado. He's allowed 7 homers this year across just over 75 innings. 4 of those have come in his last 17 innings across his last 3 starts, though, and now he's at Coors. I'll take outfielder Charlie Blackmon for 5,400, who's on the right side of the platoon. He's hitting .320 with 23 home runs this year. He's .371 with 9 homers in his last 15 games. Carlos Gonzalez in the outfield for 5,000. He's .305 with 24 homers, and he's on the right side of the platoon as well. Second baseman DJ LeMahieu for 5,000. He's hitting .344, 10 homers, 9 steals, hitting .459 with 3 homers in his last 15 games. And David Dahl in the outfield for 5,000. He's hitting .326 with 5 home runs, and is also on the right side of the platoon. The Washington Nationals are still at Citizens Bank against the Phillies today, and they take on Adam Morgan, who actually used his last start on the hill. Conditions in the forecast look pretty reasonable as well, and Morgan almost can't help but allow runs. There's a couple of decent starts, but his 1-8 record with a 6.5 ERA does tell the story. He allowed 6 runs against the Mets in his last start when I sadly had him in my lineups. Outfielder Jason Worth for 4,800. He has the platoon, is very good when he faces left-handers. He's hitting .248 with 19 homers. He's got 3 homers in his last 7 games. Trey Turner, you can use him at second or the outfield. For the stack, we'll use him in the outfield. He's 5,100. He also has the platoon. .344 hitter with 5 homers and 18 steals, hitting .397 with 2 homers in his last 15 games. Second baseman Daniel Murphy for 5,300. He's hitting .344 with 25 homers. And third baseman Anthony Rendon has the platoon at 5,100 today. .272 hitter with 16 homers on the year. Slightly more under the radar stack that may or may not be, I'm anticipating won't be highly used today. It's the San Diego Padres against Matt Wisler. Wisler may have sorted himself out in AAA, but a 3.71 ERA during his stint there isn't anything special. He did have a great start on his return against the Diamondbacks, though pitching 8 innings of 1-run ball. I still feel it's too early to jump off this train, and Wisler has still got to do it again a couple more times to prove to me that he's recovered his action. Outfielder Travis Jankowski for 4,100. He's on the right side of the platoon, hits out the top of the order out the leadoff spot. He's hitting .260 260 with 2 homers, gives you a value on the base pass with 29 steals. First baseman Will Myers for 4,000. It's a 260 hitter with 23 homers, 23 steals on the year. Alex Dickerson in the outfield for 3,400. He has the platoon, is a 251 hitter with 8 homers. Jan Jervis Solarte can be used at second or third. He's hitting 3,100 today, hitting 270 with 13 homers. And second baseman Ryan Schimpf for 4,600, 242 hitter with 16 home runs. He has the platoon in the matchup. He's hitting 400 with 2 homers in his last 7 games. And the other stack I'm going to look at trying to get into some lineups today is the Toronto Blue Jays at Camden Yards facing Giovanni Gallardo. Gallardo can be the stuff of dreams if you catch him on the right day with hitters, much like his last time out. That probably reduces the value in the stack, in all honesty, as I'm sure you'll be far from alone in using it, and I do dread to think what your pitching will look like if you use outfielder Jose Bautista for 5,300, who's hitting 226 with 16 homers. Third baseman Josh Donaldson for 5,500. He's 294, 34 homers a year, hitting a whopping 370 with 6 homers in his last 7 games. First baseman Edwin Encarnacion for 5,300 has a home run off of Gallardo, hitting 267. He's got 36 bombs on the year. Catcher Russell Martin for 5,000. He's hitting 247 with 15 homers the year, 339 with 7 bombs in his last 15, and shortstop Troy Tulowitzki for 5,100, another with a homer off of Gallardo. He's hitting 253 with 22 homers a season. My foundation players today at first, I will take Anthony Rizzo of the Chicago Cubs for 5,300. He has the platoon against Ryan Vogelsong, who he's hitting to the seats on 3 occasions. He's hitting 294 with 26 homers, including one yesterday, and it's at the friendly confines today. At second base, I'll take Jed Yorker of the St. Louis Cardinals, who also qualifies at third for $5,000. He's hitting 249 with 28 home runs on the season. He's got 8 home runs in his last 15 games, including in back-to-back games the last 2 nights. Third baseman Kyle Seager of the Seattle Mariners is 4,700. He's got 3 home runs against Martin Perez, who he doesn't have the platoon against. He's hitting 288 with 24 home runs on the year. Shortstop Jonathan Villar of the Milwaukee Brewers for 5,200. The switch hitter's hitting 297 with 11 homers and 50 stolen bases to give you upside on the base pass. An outfielder, he has Manny Tomas of the Arizona Diamondbacks for 4,800. Has the platoon against Matt Moore. We know Matt Moore almost threw a no-hitter in his last start, but he did have a very high pitch count that day, and that may come back to bite him today. Tomas is hitting 263 with 27 homers and excels against left-handed pitching. My value plays today. Catcher Brian McCann of the New York Yankees for 3,400 gets to face a fly ball pitcher in Ian Kennedy. He has got a homer against him. He's hitting 239 with 16 homers and hitting 308 in his last 7 games. My first baseman is Victor Martinez of the Detroit Tigers for 3,000. He has 4 home runs against Chris Sale. The switch hitter's hitting 300 with 23 homers on the year. Second baseman Joe Panik of the San Francisco Giants for 3,500 has a home run against Shelby Miller, who is back in the big leagues after a stint in AAA and is going to need to be a lot better to make his stay worthwhile. Panik has the platoon, a 251 hitter with 10 homers on the year. He's hitting 348 with 3 homers in his last 7 games. Third baseman Todd Frazier of the Chicago White Sox for 2,900. You wouldn't be surprised with an 0-4 strikeouts, but he is a home run hitter. He's got a home run against Justin Verlander, hitting for the low average of 214, 33 home runs on the year, including one yesterday. My shortstop is Brandon Crawford of the San Francisco Giants. He's 3,100 today. He has the platoon against Shelby Miller as well, hitting 276 with 12 homers the year. And in the outfield, I'll take JD Martinez of the Detroit Tigers. He's hitting 3,900 today. He's hitting 321 with 19 homers on the year, including one yesterday. He's got 3 home runs against Chris Sale, and he's hitting 414 with 4 homers in his last 15 games. That's what I've got for you today. Best of luck with your lineups. You'll probably find this is a lot of help if you're playing the early slate or the all-day slate. Not so much so if you're playing the late slate. There's a lot of players playing early in this. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to like the video. Hit me up in the comments with the daily fantasy plays you like today and press that subscribe button. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I will be here all MLB season and through the NFL season with daily fantasy sports advice. If you haven't signed up yet, or you're interested in starting to play daily fantasy sports, please click the link in the description for this video and that'll take you where you need to go to start playing with DraftKings today. Best of luck with your lineups and have a great day.